Hi everyone, I'm back and I am thrilled to announce that I'm launching my new show, The Real Story with me, Michelle Makori. And now more than ever, we need to go deeper, beyond the headlines, beneath the surface and behind the curtain to reveal what's really going on in our economy, our finances, our world. And The Real Story is where we cut through all of the noise and expose the real risks, the real shifts, and the real opportunities. We'll break down the forces moving markets and the undercurrents that the mainstream media will not even touch. Now, as always, I will be bringing you in-depth interviews from a variety of voices, experts, analysts, industry leaders, and just interesting people. I hope to give you the full picture and empower you to make informed decisions in business, in investing, and in life. I'll be focusing on macroeconomics, geopolitics, markets, and of course, Bitcoin and gold. And those of you familiar with my work know that I'm very passionate about sound money. And I feel that fiat is the source of much of what's wrong in today's world. Hence, I love Bitcoin and gold. And on the gold side, I'm so excited to be partnering with Miles Franklin and Andy Schectman. Andy, so excited to be doing this with you.
Well, first of all, welcome, Michelle. We're so excited to have you here. We're the ones who lucked out. You're the best in the business, and there's no one I'd rather see sitting in that chair but you.
I am thrilled to be here. And Andy, when I've interviewed you, I've always been impressed not only by how meticulously well-researched you are and your fact-based insights, but how open-minded you've always been to different viewpoints and different perspectives. And that is the attitude that we hope to embody here on The Real Story.
100%. I've never understood why people focus so much on one train of thought. They learn more and more about less and less till they know everything about nothing. That won't be the case here. And open-minded is the name of the game when we're trying to analyze where we are in this sea of uncharted waters right now.
And that's why this collaboration makes a lot of sense. Now, you're obviously a staunch believer that gold is wealth, and rightfully so. It has been for thousands of years. It has a very, very long track record of being a safe haven and a store of value. And gold represents sovereignty and independence. And it's that sovereignty and independence of thinking that we're also going to try bring in the show. And, to that end, again, you've been very open to the idea of Bitcoin and its role in the monetary system. Now, gold is the OG, for sure, but this is going to be about so much more than just gold.
Look, gold has outlived 2 world wars, German hyperinflation, the Great Depression, every pandemic, and everything. It is the OG, you're right. But it's a mistake to ignore the new kid on the block. I think it's a mistake to be mutually exclusive of ideology. A lot of people that I respect have taught me a lot in the crypto industry, whether it be speaking at the XRP convention or being on or having on guests that focus on cryptocurrency. And again, if we never listen to other viewpoints, we never grow. And that's I think, the name of the game here. And I've learned a lot. I hope other people have. And again, that's why we have you here, to be open-minded, to explore things that maybe are outside our comfort level, and to look at both sides of the coin.
Or all three sides of the coin, as I've heard you say before.
That's correct. There is the third side that no one really talks about. And that's, here again, evaluate both sides, and then, come to your own conclusion on that third side as to which is the proper path to go.
Right. It's all about the nuance, right? And that's
Absolutely.
what we hope to capture here. Look, I've been privileged to interview many brilliant and fascinating people throughout my career. I always get asked who's been my favorite interview.
Obviously me.
I wasn't going there, but I will put you in the top 10. But what really... Good enough. But what stands out to me is when I go into an interview and I learn something, when something just opens my mind. And that was certainly the case when I first spoke to you around 3 years ago. And you really highlighted and consolidated the idea of the bifurcation of the global monetary system. You were ahead of the curve, talking about a growing trend of de-dollarization. And you were putting all the dots together, leading to what you say is an inevitable monetary reset. Now, some of what you said has already come to fruition since then, but there have also been some other big changes in the world. So where we are now, do you have more or less conviction that a monetary reset is on the horizon?
Michelle, I have more. I mean, and I've really been doing a lot of thinking on that. The previous administration made it very easy. I would constantly say their actions were too stupid to be stupid. It's not the same here, but the actions that we're seeing around the world, in my mind, are highlighting a gradual and, in fact, in-process reset. And I think it's important to understand that resets don't have to happen like that. They can happen gradually over time. And to me, that's where we are right now, in the midst of a monetary reset.
Or little by little.
Little by little, then all at once, yes.
Right, exactly. We're going to get into the real reasons you think the monetary reset is inevitable on our very first show. As you know, I will be challenging your thesis and pushing back.
You always do. And again, another reason that we're glad to have you here, because you do challenge, you do inspire, and you do make people think. And that's the most important thing. Rather than acquiescing to people's viewpoints and kowtowing to their opinions, you push back in a respectful, educated, and prepared way. That stuck out to me the very first time that I met you, and in all subsequent interviews that you and I have done or listening to you interview others, you do it in a great way, and that's a rare quality, one that I admire, and I can't wait to see it in action.
Okay, well, that is a sentiment I'm not going to push back on.
But you shouldn't. You've earned it.
But I'm very excited to have you as a regular on the show. You and I will also be hosting some shows with other panelists, even more voices. And of course, I'll be doing my solo signature one-on-one interviews where I play devil's advocate, as I like to do, even when I agree.
Right on. And sounds great to me, and we're excited to turn you loose and see what you can do.
Loose.
Yes.
Turn loose the real Michelle Makori on The Real Story.
Absolutely.
Well, Andy, I'm excited, you're excited, and I'm hoping that our viewers are excited. And for all of you that have asked me where and when you can see me next, well, now you know. And sincerely, thank you so much for your interest and your support. It really means a lot to receive your messages and comments. So be sure to subscribe to the Miles Franklin Media YouTube channel. My show will be posted there, and I will be extracting maximum alpha from my guests and sharing my own nuggets along the way to make sure that your time with me is well worth it. So follow us on X, subscribe now, and hit the alert so you don't miss when the first episode drops. That one will be with Andy, and I have a spectacular lineup of guests. So join us for real insights, real wealth, real liberty. I'm excited to be back, and I'll see you soon.